From the sunshine of Hockenheim, we come to menacing dark clouds over the Emilia-Romagna. Welcome to round 2 of the Ultimate Mobile Racing League at Imola, which was the second Grand Prix ever back in 2024. The dramatic weather changes in this race are nearly guaranteed to return as well. And many people have not been happy with the decision to pair this with a track where it's hard to overtake. So there's a lot to talk about, but first, hello. I am Larry, and Pollock is here with me again. Good evening.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here with you once more on this hopefully great race on Imola. So let's see what's going to happen in the qualifying, shall we?
Yeah, one lap done, not too representative so far, so now they are really going for it on this track that is a temple of speed in this game, I have to say. It's 70% flat out, and a lot of single file, which is why the rain might actually enable a bit more overtaking, but also a lot more chaos as we are watching the cars pushing on through the final two Rivazza corners and coming across the line for the fast laps. Sigma Bob is racing around here with a 27.77. That's a very good time already. All the 27s are quite good times already. Sigma Bob has no longer got any main driver contract because of some meltdown that's happened at Etruria over the last week between Senna, Sigma Bob, and also kind of Brasidas. And yeah, let's see how that is going to affect them. Maybe a bit more on that later when we have more time than here in qualifying. What about the times from the drivers? Ludwig, just who I'm watching, goes across the line with a 27.7. He takes provisional pole position, 700ths ahead of a Toaster, who's now tied with Sigma Bob, and Justin also goes onto the front row, the winner of round 1, who's now gone to Menardi in the inter-season break, up there again as well.
Well, it's certainly one last minute, so it's going to be a last-ditch effort from everyone to get the best lap possible. We are going to see Justin crossing the line, no improvement from him. It's still Ludwig leading the way on provisional pole position as we have a triple tie following P3, 4 and 5, which is Toaster, Laguno and Sigma Bob. There's Guillermo just 100 of a second away, and Senna, who's running currently P7 with also the same time. It's very tight grid with I think that's only half a second dividing first from last, which is Matt, who was left the qualifying. So technically we could count to Pigeon, which is 0.4 of a second. So it's still very tight timings between everyone, as we're going to see Laguno cross the line to start the final lap of qualifying, which is lap 7.
Yeah, Senna on his birthday today has broken his phone. That is his name. He just joined right before qualifying here. He's gone across the line again together with Ludwig, and it doesn't look like there's been an improvement. Guillermo, nice to see him. Champion from Season 3 up there in P6. He is racing for Hurricane Racing Team. Not for Hurricane Racing Team, for Etruria Racing Team for the first time in over a season, where he stepped down to make way for Justin and Sigma pretty much. And we are across the line. Laguno in his second race back after taking his break equals the pole time for Ludwig, which means that it is not going to be a pole for the Spaniard, but for the American driver Ludwig for Ibanova. But with a tie, they both get the 2 points. Nitro goes up to P3 with a 27.73. Super close margins, but he inches ahead of Justin and Toaster as well. What an incredible end to this qualifying. They just kept improving around here.
Well, it's been certainly a very tight qualifying. The time constantly being pushed further and further, closer and closer to the limit possible, but it's going to be a pole position to Ludwig with a very good time, tied with Laguno. So it's just going to be who's going to have a better launch off the grid, who's going to have the better start into the first chicanes.
Exactly, Ludwig trying to keep up what Ivanova did with Krasnett, the champion from last season. Let's see what he can do. He was the number 2 behind Krasnett and just finished inside the points, if I remember correctly, in round 1. This is gonna look a lot better already. The rest of the order is Sigma Bob in P6 and the same row with the same time. That's Toaster 64. Then it's the two Etruria Racing Team cars starting on row 4 with the same time as well. Tyne had a brilliant race at Hockenheim. He starts in 9th place for Aston Martin. Pairdrive in P10 for S25M Williams Racing, who have the autumn 2024 livery from Williams E-Racing painted on their car, as it is the farewell season for the team owner Nickel. The man who's going to take over S25M Williams from summer 2026 onwards is Majumdar, who lines up alongside Seguin. Pigeon is in P13, Albano 14th in his second race for MP Motorsport, Piggy in his 40th race for his own team, and John Slipstream aka Figueroa, the current championship leader of Ultimate League over on PC, starting in 16th place here, and Lozi sadly rounding out the top 17, but 18th place goes to Matt, who's had connection issues but is still gonna try and start the race. It's a tight and twisty track, the curbs are narrow, and there might be some pretty intense showers that can make the drivers slip off them. It's dry weather for the start of the race at the very least. It is a long run down towards turn 1 here at the circuit. Enzo Dino Ferrari. Ludwig is gonna start on Inters right away. Laguno might be into the lead of the race by the time we get to Tamburello chicane, and he does so up the inside. The American not fighting too hard against the two-time UMRL champion. Justin is also on the intermediate tires up the inside of Toaster, but Toaster 64 is passing him in the special livery Minardi with the Italian flag, and now there's heavy rain coming up. The right call by Ludwig immediately proving itself, and yeah, Laguno goes into the pit lane. Ludwig, just like last season at Malaysia, has got the call absolutely perfectly with the intermediate tires, as has Justin. Last season, his genius around Malaysia was proven with the wet tires. Now it's a bit different, and Matt has carried on the soft tires. He's racing for APA again. And then there's in second place it's Justin, then it's Senna up to P3. Pigeon in the Aston now storming past the Brazilian and down the inside into Ravazza. How brave are all the drivers feeling on their different tires, and what a first 2 lap it's already been, Pollock.
Well, it's been certainly chaotic start with starting on the Inters. A bit risky, but it paid off with 50% rain on the track. And it's the first DNF. Matt is out. He leads the game, and his car is going to stroll through the map, making a blue dot racing very soon. Justin leads the way of Ludwig, who's been overtaken. Pigeon is currently holding third for Aston Martin, so is Tyne alongside him. And there's Laguna, who has dropped back down to 5th, who had to pit at the first lap. Now currently running on wet tires, so technically having a slight edge over Inter runners, but it's going to soon end with the rain stopping and going into the sunny weather. Yeah, so it's going to be certainly a race of who can survive the longest on the tires and who can just pull as much risk as they can without making an error.
I think Majumdar just won, not Majumdar, Ludwig just 1 lap ago swept around the outside of Justin going into the second chicane on this track. I am watching Guillermo right now defending from Toaster in the Etruria Racing Team with a slightly different livery as well. Toaster with a dive at Toaster. Quite a dangerous place to overtake. More or less you just capitalize on other people's mistakes around here, but an overtake like that is very rarely, but there's big respect between the two ex-teammates from Season 5. Pairdrive behind them is defending from Sigmabob, who's racing for APA for the first time, and Majumdar here in the second S25M. Let's get to the top again, where Justin is out front again ahead of Ludwig. These two are just gonna try and go away from the pack, or are they? Ludwig again capitalizing of a mistake from Justin coming out of that beautiful corner combination called Aqua Minerale, and Justin opts for the slick tires, as it seems, at the end of lap 6. How popular is this choice going to be with the drivers behind him?
Oh, Toaster, I think he hit the pit wall. He slowed down suddenly on the track, and he has lost few places because of that, making Majumdar, Sigmabob and Nitro basically in a free position, as we see Justin currently running on the slick tires in P4 on the soft tires, so he is faster. And there's going to be more rain. It's going more rain. Justin unlucky. So is Laguno, Guillermo, Pero, and Lozi Senna, who has dropped back down to 16th. Very terrible start for him, and so Ziguin currently running last. and the rain is going to continue. Ludwig is going to extend his gap over everyone else. Peugeot and Tyne are going to keep their positions as second and third, and Justin just needs more time to catch on. It's going to be a light rain, and it might be as well a fake rain, as the clouds immediately come out with the light rain starting. So it's going to be drying out rather quickly, so the slick's going to be a prime tires sooner rather than later.
Well, it was always going to be a interesting choice by Justin to go for the slicks here. He tried to use that window where it stays dry. It seems like that is going to be extended for a while longer, but yeah, it is a really risky call by the man who is leading the championship at the moment, and he was also in the fight for the win here, so kind of unusual to see that. Ludwig doing the same as Malaysia last season, just carrying on the Inters for as long as humanly possible. Pigeon pushing on the Inter tires in second place at the moment, and Tyne has also now gone for the slicks, so Aston now splitting up, as they have had a very nice position in the first few laps. Tyne with his best ever race in the league, and now also snatching the position from Nitro in this race.
Very interesting to see people still running on the wet tire compound. Still, Albon is currently the only one being on full wet tires, currently being overtaken by Senna, dropping down to P14, while the top is still running on Inter tire. It's the Nitro currently having Laguna on his inside. However, the double world champion not being able to overtake for now, waving, showing his frustration as he dives on the inside lane. Very brave dive as he goes through. Still, currently no rain, but cloudy weather ahead on Imola, and we are going to see everyone trying to still stick into the slick tire runners, trying to not lose as much time as possible while still having a bit of an edge if the rain comes in. Never mind, scratch that, it's going to be even more drier as Justin has caught on to Peugeot, who is going into the pit lane, and Ludwig still overextending those Inters to the absolute limit. His 4-second gap to Justin is going to melt though rather quickly.
Yeah, now it's swapped around for the Astons. Tyne is leading that fight in P3. Laguna for Hurricane Racing Team on older soft tires in 4th place, and Majumdar sliding just a bit wide in Aqua Minerale, and that lets Guillermo and Pigeon on the quicker tires pass him rather easily. Frenchman having a look on the inside of Rivazza, but that just makes him slide out very wide because he really has to look at his racing line on the intermediates to keep it on track at all, and he is going to lose a lot of time just on the straights as well, as is Ludwig, still leading this race after 14 laps. Is he now maybe going to call it a day on these tires too? I don't think so. He really has to go for that first win of his career now. It would be the riskier choice to not pray that rain will come around, but Justin is within a second now, and Tyne, yeah, okay, Tyne is just 4 seconds back too.
Tyne is a bit too far to catch on, but Justin now is on the rear wing of Ludwig. Ludwig going almost side by side. Justin is on the inside. He sends it into the corner, and he gets the position as Ludwig still down to second now, still holding on to those Inters as the rain is coming. The rain is coming. Finally, Ludwig's going to be able to use those Inters to his advantage, as Justin has used those softs as well. He is now trying to overextend his gap as much as possible, and he'll try to not lose as much as he can to the pit stop. Is he going in? Yes, he is going in from the soft tire. Of course, Ludwig staying out. Tyne is in. There's Laguna, and he made a mistake. Peugeot catching onto his rear wing. As a regular, it's a fake rain.
But that is good for Ludwig now, because of course he's leading the race firstly, and his Inters are shredded, so he would have had to come in even for a new set of just intermediates in the next few laps. So yeah, what a great call by Ludwig. He now had to pray for it to become dry, essentially, right after the rain again, and there was just the right window where everyone behind him also went for the Inters, and so no one is going to get a bigger advantage than him. What a job by the American driver. And Laguna, I'm not sure he's fighting with Pigeon, not sure if there's just been an overtake into Ravazza, but they are very closely together. Two of the OGs of this league, both racing in the very first race back in 2024. Of course, Pigeon with just one podium to his name. Laguna with a bit more, but that experience not helping him in this particular case. And Pigeon is passing the Hurricane Racing team, and there's heavy rain coming on around yet again. Ludwig is going to have the advantage of being able to pit for wet tires now. He kind of has to do something at this point, which means that he's going to be quicker soon. But that gap over Justin is not too quick. Let's see what's going to happen now, Polak.
Well, it's going to be a chase. Ludwig is choosing Inter tire. Very interesting. He's not opting for full wet. Instead, still keeping Inter Sport to his name, as Justin now in the lead of the race, 4 seconds ahead of Ibernova. Tyne keeping P3. However, he is now in closing distance to Ludwig. He could try to maybe catch the slipstream overtake for P2 under it. Never mind, he has made a mistake. Down the grid, you see Peugeot and Laguna fighting. Laguna with a mistake, diving just a little bit off-road into the grass. He goes, and Peugeot jumping up to P4. Further down the grid, we see Pero Drive in P6, Guillermo in P7, having a safe gap between one another. Then Toaster having Sigma Bob on his tail, hugging the wall, both of them. See him trying to slipstream each other for the best of their own races. Senna is rounding up the top 10 with Losey just behind. The gaps are growing a bit more and more. However, Majumdar is P12 with John Slipstream, aka Figo, in P13. Nitro is 14, Ziguin's 15, the only man currently running on the full wet tires. Piggy 16th, and Albono 9 seconds behind 16th place. Very interesting to see as the rain is going to weaken into the light rain. So we might see another dry out.
What's giving me a lot of nostalgia right now is Tyne running in 3rd place, because in season 1 I think that it was Miyamura fighting for a podium in his first race. Also for Aston Martin, he didn't get it done. That order of the race was Kato winning by I think 15 to 20 seconds around here. That's a track that he created himself too. But yeah, there were also some pretty big gaps at some point, which we're also seeing right now. And it was the first podium by Bocco, never forgotten, qualifying OG of the first half of season 1, and then just disappeared sadly.
The track again drying up. The top is going to now try to battle out Ludwig with couple laps fresher Inters, trying to make a difference, though the gap seems like not changing at all, with 4 seconds still standing between him and the leader Justin, who is looking for a second win in a row from Hockenheim, which he had dominantly gained. And it's even more rain, of course. It's heavy rain now, so yeah, Inters are not going to be the best. 50% showing itself once more. The chaos that we have endured through the first half of the race is going to push even further with possibly even more changes, as the Inter tires slowly but surely will be used and will need to be changed sooner rather than later.
Looking at it now, I think the big loser from the starting grid is Nitro, who qualified in 3rd place, and I don't know, he probably also fell down to where he is now, P14, pretty quickly. We haven't seen much from him, sadly. But yeah, it would be great to see him not only retain or regain his form also in the race here. Yeah, let's pick out a battle. Is there anything happening? The two drivers who are very closely together at the front are Laguna and Pigeon. We accelerate down towards Tamburello, but I think that both are just kind of giving each other signs that they don't really want to overtake each other and try to come closer to Tyne ahead of Pigeon instead. But Pigeon, of course, might also want to do that defensive job to get the maximum points and a podium for Aston Martin on their return to the league, which has just started last week. Oh, and now Laguna is through because Pigeon has made a mistake at the exit of Ravazza. Pigeon just moving over. Laguna going past pretty easily. I'm not sure what that was.
So there will be no team shenanigans between Pigeon and Tynas. Stein will have the double world champion on his tail, closing in for the lowest step of the podium as he tries to inch closer. Though, however, making a mistake. Oh, it's a DNF. Ziguin is out of the race. The only man who was running on wet tires is now leaving from the race. Sad to see that happen. However, it is what it is as the truck now dries once more. What will be decisions on top? We see the first one to call it is Senna, is Justin. Yes, Justin staying out. Is Ludwig staying out? He did stay out before. He is staying out now. Time is not in. No one is coming in.
Whoa!
Laguna,
late call by Laguna.
barely made it into the pit lane, almost missed it, but he has managed to go without a crash into the pit lane as Toaster is now at the back of Laguna with Inter tire. We see only 5 drivers now on the slick tires. John Slipstream is going to join that pack as everyone is just awaiting what's going to happen in the just few laps time, and we might see a lot more shenanigans from the top drivers of the tire management and just luck.
There's a 3-way battle forming for the first time in quite a while around here. Guillermo, Losi and Sigma Bob. Guillermo is just one out there, but Sigma Bob and Losi still swapping places behind. Losi is probably going to fall back on the old intermediate tires as the others around him are on the fresh slick rubber. And Guillermo and Sigma Bob going to the very edge on the exit of Tosa. That's when you know that you're onto a good lap in qualifying. At least that's how I always felt around here this week. And Guillermo and Sigma Bob are pushing on in P8 and 9 at the moment. Paradrive is now the only remaining. Williams ahead, and Pigeon is just about not managed to stay ahead of Toaster. Is he going to get him back into the Villeneuve chicane? Yes, Toaster also lifting off the throttle there, probably not to stand in the way too long on the old Inters and to avoid a crash going through that incredibly tricky corner. I'm not sure. I think the junior leagues were a bit more chaotic, but UMRL is managing to keep it clean very, very well around here. Even with the rain, it doesn't seem like it's an overtaking circus.
It's just free of chaos right now. It's kind of nothing happening. Who would have guessed? But it seems like everyone is trying their best just to strategy without making any mistakes. Toaster slightly running off the track, sliding on those very used Inter tire. Lagunos has called it in. Tynas called it in. He is now out on the track with the slick tires. Let's just notice that Ludwig is actually closing on Justin, whose Inters are absolutely burning. He is now going in. Ludwig staying out. He is doing one more lap, or maybe even more, on those Inter tire. Lap 35 out of 53. Justin is out on those slick tires. It seems like Ludwig is just praying at this point for even more rain for everyone behind to pit.
Ludwig's instinct just tell him to stay out on the Inters in 50% rain every single time. But again, we faced the same situation as we had like 20 laps ago, where Ludwig's tires are that old anyway that he would have to pit soon. Now it would be pretty nice to just go onto the slicks because everyone does that. But of course, he would kind of lose the race against Justin at this moment. If Ludwig pits now, it would be Laguna in the lead of the race, at least for a moment. Justin is catching the 2-time champion behind on a bit fresher soft tires. I doubt that we're not going to see rain to the end, but that is a very, very interesting situation right now. Also with Tyne basically giving up his podium spot right now and kind of being caught up in the fight with Paradrive and Sigma Bob, who have gone ahead of him. They are on all the tires, of course, but Tyne, they are not managing right now to pass them. I think in a few laps, Justin and also Tyne are going to have bigger advantages. Justin is going side by side with Laguna down towards Acqua Minerali, but they both know that they can just get an easier chance going into Ravazza. Either that, because it's a very long and nice hairpin, or down towards turn 1. But Justin has already gone past and into the lead right now of the Italian Grand Prix.
let's just notice that we have seen Ludwig go into the pit lane. However, he did not choose the slick tires. He is running on the inter tire right now, down to P7. He's still preying on the chance of rain ahead. So it's just pure gambling at its core. He could go to a casino with the money and bet all it on red. However, still no rain inside. It's too sunny weather, so Ludwig is just going to lose time more and more when he is not in slipstream of someone with the slick tires, as Guillermo is catching onto him, trying to find any space through the Ibernova. Is trying to catch on this, and I know he's staying behind. Is he going to attend? Yes, he's attending on the inside line. Very challenging, trying to challenge Ludwig again once more through the chicane. Still Ludwig trying to defend as Guillermo finally pushes him off in the final corner and manages to sneak by into P7. Wow, the other fight. Is there any fight going on? The Senna is from slick to slick. Finally, the pit stop that is not caused by rain. Surprising, I know, in those conditions. Any other action is there? Not really. The fights are just not really fights, but just slipstreaming each other and overtaking when someone makes a mistake.
I honestly still have a good feeling about what Ludwig is doing right now, because I think it's pretty clear that rain is going to return at some point. His inters are going to look a bit dead at the end of the race if he carries on without another stop, and also the soft tire runners that have not pitted that have pitted sooner. So unlike, I don't know, Justin, so looking at Laguno or also Singlebob, there are some drivers here which are probably sliding more on their old softs than Ludwig is doing on his fresh inters. There's Singlebob, Paradrive and Guillermo going for new tires, and Ludwig is gaining positions again on the intermediates, and he's in P5. Tyne is still chasing the podium as is Pigeon. What a job by Aston Martin. Laguno is giving it everything still on his old soft tires, and Justin is looking pretty comfortable right now, and I think he's also more than a stop ahead of Ludwig. So I think, yeah, the win might actually be out of the window for Ludwig, but that is super interesting to see.
Well, a gamble that it was, it did not pay out fully. However, it was still a try to be the one that will get the strategy right. However, very surprised that we haven't seen rain in quite a while, considering that it is 50% chance, as Laguna is one that is into the pit lane, escaping just in front of Pigeon, trying to block him from attacking, but Pigeon gets the inside, but he hits the grass on the corner, dropping back behind the double world champion. As the train is slowly forming of Laguna Pigeon behind them, it's Ludwig on the inter tire with Toaster behind on the soft tire as well. Ludwig's just chilling ahead. There's Justin in on another set of softs. Oh, it's cloudy once more. Could this be the gamble of century? Ludwig on the inter tire. Could this be his moment to try and snatch even more places for himself? Maybe a podium, maybe even something more if he gets lucky enough.
I mean, the cloudy weather now means that this was not the rain that was kind of short to arrive, or is it now? I'm not sure anymore. And we're gonna have to wait until the next weather change, and Ludwig's gonna have to wait as his inter tires also degrade. Toaster's tires definitely a bit older still, but right now he's managing to pass the Ivanova ahead of him, and there's been a terrific fight between Singlebob and Paradrive, and also Guillermo and I think that was Senna behind them, and now that pack has caught on to them. Singlebob and Paradrive driving circles around Ludwig, at least soon. I think Toaster is also gonna fall, and Toaster is just bailing out into the pit lane. Singlebob and Paradrive making up places. Singlebob did that at Hockenheim last time out as well, as did Laguno, and they both ended up on the podium. Right now it is the Astons disrupting the two from having that good of a day. Pigeon is attempting to move on the outside of Ravazza on Laguno, can not carry it on around the outside, heading down towards turn 1, but of course it leaves him with another chance. They go into each other down the straight, and Laguno is able to defend that very nicely so far. Experience paying off here, but of course Pigeon is also been around for quite a long time, not racing as regularly. But Laguna isn't doing that too much right now. Either side by side into the Variante Alta is also very risky, and that fight is just looking the same as it did one lap ago. And that might carry on until the very last lap around here. And Tyne is, yeah, just a bit out of sight. Maybe he can grab a bag of popcorn and also watch from the distance already.
It's Laguna trying to defend against Pigeon, who is challenging for that second step of the podium. He's again attempting move on the outside, like he hit the grass twice. Is he going to go thrice? No, he is not. He's trying to attempt the switchback, going side by side into the line, onto the first corner. He gets into the grass, pushed away. Now again behind Laguna, trying to find some space. Pigeon, no, not anymore, and dives into the grass once more. Another attempt has lost. However, he does not give up. He's still trying to catch the P2, which is still in his grasp, while Tyne is also driving cleanly, just watching from behind when he can, maybe possibly also try and catch his teammate. Also seemed like he made a mistake, losing some of 1 second ground to Laguna. Meanwhile, Justin is chilling in P1. It's going to be a cruise towards the finish now, with a few laps remaining on the count. So does Laguna, who has now managed to escape Aston Martin, who has been chasing him for a few laps time. Pero Drive is safe in P5, Tyne is safe in P4. Sigma Bob is being pressured up for Guillermo for Truya. Is it going to be on tap on the dive on the inside line? Not really. Everyone is just seem like good with their current positions.
And yeah, Sigma Bob and Guillermo are catching up to Pero Drive. What I was kind of confused about is that Pigeon attempted that move on the outside of Ravazza multiple times, and he nearly pulled off the switchback against Laguna. It is kind of hard to do that in a corner that long, because, I don't know, the inside line is just blocked mostly throughout the corner. Nearly got it done anyways. Now the challenge has kind of faded away, sadly. We are on the final lap of the race. Sigma Bob and Pero Drive, that's the highest position that there's still a fight for. Sigma Bob inheriting 5th place, Pero Drive in 6th place, Guillermo in P7, and now I'm scared not to miss Justin going through the final 2 corners of this racetrack. It's a home win for Minardi. The Tifosi cheering on Minardi around here because there's no Ferrari here, but Justin wins the Italian Grand Prix. What a drive yet again, as he extends his championship lead. Laguna with 2nd place on the road for the 2nd time in a row on his return for Hurricane Racing Team. And Pigeon rounding out the podium. He is back on the podium for the 2nd time in his career only. It's the first time since Season 5. And Aston Martin bringing the green to the podium again for the first time since Crossnet. No, since Norris SP, of course. In round 1 of Season 6. What a fantastic result for Fast Pace's team too.
Very, very interesting finish. Very, very enjoyable race to commentate. However, it's been quite a chaotic first half. We saw challenges with the strategy, but seems like the rain just decided to disappear for the rest of the race, giving Justin just enough of an edge to make that P1 for himself. Laguna, as he said, is P2 for Hurricane Racing Team. Pigeon making it a podium for Aston Martin with the fastest lap to his account, with Tyne being 4th, and Imola 5th, Pero Drive 6th, Guillermo 7th, Toaster 8th, Senna finishing 9th, Losey running up the top 10, and outside it's one time of Figo. Then 12th is Ludwig. The gamble did not pay out. It's Majumdar just behind him. Nitro is P14, Piggy P15, Albono with the very small gap of 50 seconds towards P15, his own teammate, and Zygwin has DNF'd, so is Matt in 17th and 18th.
Just 1 point for Ludwig, and Albanova is... Oof, that's really painful. Let's see what that's going to do to their championship challenge as well. Ludwig might as well go for it. I definitely understand it, but I didn't. And I think he also didn't expect it to go that bad with the rain just not appearing anymore towards the end. I think he's always just going for the most likely choice, which is pretty rational most of the time, but it made for some very, very interesting and funny situations in this race. Pigeon also picking up the fastest lap for the 2nd race in a row. Last time out, he was just cruising around at the back, 100 seconds back, or what was it? This time he's actually right in there. That is fantastic to see. Yeah, let's see what Aston's going to bring to the team's fight as well as we carry on to Barcelona. It's the Apple Amazing version, so that's the Ultimate Racing 2D1 track, which we've been racing on once before in Season 6, and there was the legendary tie for first place between Crust and Laguno. Is this going to happen with Justin and Laguno? We're gonna have to wait and see. The penalties have been dished out. No changes at the very top. Toast against 2 positions over Paradrive and Guillermo for penalties. Figo and Ludwig also gain places over Lozi. And Majumdar gets the final point as Senna drops 4 places for penalties. His broken phone perhaps posing a threat. He ends up outside the points. Let's hope that this issue is gonna get resolved until next race. And this is the Drivers' Championship, but without penalties applied yet. But I have to get the video out now. Justin with 2 wins and 1 pole position leads the championship ahead of Laguno, who made it a 1-2 with Justin twice, but of course ended up behind Siggenberg because of penalties. Tyne is in 4th place with P6 and P4. Paradrive in 5th, hoping to still get up there and fight for the championship too. Pigeon getting all his points so far from today from his 2nd ever career podium and the fastest lap. Senna should still stay in P7 here. Guillermo also got a penalty and there's 8 points between them. And Nitro and Toaster also inside the current top 10. Minardi still at the top after round 2. It's also going to depend on whether Etruria can ensure consistent results. We got Justin and Senna now being the 2 lead drivers of the top 2 in the team's championship. Guillermo has not signed a contract with Etruria Racing Team, so he is now independent. I believe that this has happened so that Guillermo can race more freely for Etruria, and he's not forced to race for Hurricane Racing Team when really Brasidas would need him up there. And thus, Elcrack has finally been given a main seat at Etruria. My perception has been that he didn't want it so far, didn't want to race that regularly. Aston Martin and Hurricane Racing Team with brilliant returns going into the season. Hurricane Racing Team also ended up in last place at the end of last season, and S25M Williams Racing currently sitting in the middle. This has always been their final position in their 3 championship seasons so far. Thank you for watching. We are on the road to 400 subscribers, so make sure you join our journey, like the video, and thank you Polak for being a very nice partner yet again.
It's been a wonderful time to commentate with you, Larry. Thank you for giving me opportunity once more.
Bye bye.